Being stuck in an elevator by yourself fucking sucks. All right, so besides being fucking scared shitless, being scared in an elevator and doing a podcast by yourself, I probably get claustrophobic. All right, so I put these the questions up for my solo early, and I got I think like 8 questions. So I guess we could jump into them. I took a picture of them because I had written them down, but they got deleted by my wife. All right, so it was pretty cool to think about these, and I was trying to like not how do I say it? I was trying to like come up with a pre-plan by looking at the questions, but then I thought maybe I should just go off top of my head. But then when I was trying to do it in the moment, practicing, I couldn't come up with anything, and I didn't want to have a bunch of dead air like X says. So I did write them down, but I didn't think too much into them to I don't know, be too prepared so I could be a little bit more authentic. So I got some tea, I got some water because I'm already getting cotton mouth just for being nervous. So I might get a few drinks in every now and then. All right, so first question was from my boy Leo Guerrero. Appreciate the support, man. Thanks for sending in some questions. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Next week, we're back on air as a duo again. Got some cool shit we're going to talk about. Some pretty exciting stuff. I think after the last podcast, we caught on to some stuff because just talking to people outside of work and outside of the podcast, they really like the other stuff, talking other than sports, like UFOs, aliens, and then we kind of touched on time travel, different things. So look forward to that next week. But Leo's first question was, if you could have a superpower, what would it be, why, and would you be good or evil? So I don't want to be like generic and say flying or anything like that, or invisibility. Honestly, I think just because of my natural fear of death, I think I would want my superpower to be immortal, to never die. And I think by being that and never dying, you have all the time in the world to master whatever you want to be good at. If I'm going to be alive forever and I want to master the sword, I have all the time. I can learn from the best swordsmen of every generation and or whatever it may be. Fighting, MMA, grappling, knife fighting, axe fighting, fucking learning how to fight lions. I don't know. But I think immortality would be my superpower, and that's why. I'll never die, and I can master whatever I want. I think it would also suck because everybody I ever know will eventually die, and I won't. But that's part of being a superhero, I guess. But the last part of that question was good or evil. So I kind of have this weird theory that I've always talked about. So the way I see it is, you're either the superhero, you're the villain, or you're the civilian. Now, obviously I'm not going to be a civilian because I have superpowers, but I don't want to be the hero either. I don't want to be good because my entire life is going to be revolving around saving the civilian, the regular people, so I will always be to service to everybody else. I will always have to worry about protecting everybody. I'll be stressed out because if I'm protecting this guy, what happens to this person over here? And I kind of feel like there's more freedom in being a villain because you do what you want. You're not expected to be a certain way. You don't have to be politically correct. You can't say this or say that. You have to dress a certain way when you're the good guy. You're the bad guy because you don't give a shit what anybody thinks. So I'd have to say I'd rather be evil, the evil villain, and pick on the civilian and beat the shit out of the superhero all the time. I know that sounds kind of cliche or I'm trying to sound cool, but that's honestly what I'd rather do. So that was a good question. I really, yeah, the bad guy, like Razor Ramon. All right, so he actually had 3 questions. So his second question was, if I found out I lived in the Matrix, would you take the blue pill or the red pill? So I'll be honest, I watched the Matrix movies. I don't remember them. I watched them only because they were so big and popular, and I know that there was like this whole thing that he had to choose where he took the red or the blue pill, but I honestly don't remember how it went. So this one I actually had to look up, and I just typed it in on a search engine, and it says the terms red pill and blue pill refer to a choice between the willingness to learn a potentially unsettling or life-threatening or life-changing truth, or by taking the red pill, or remaining in content ignorance with the blue pill. So the word ignorance just doesn't settle well with me, but I also don't like the color red. I think that's a tough one because you don't know what that unsettling or life-changing truth is. So, like, for him, it wasn't that bad. I mean, he became a badass in the Matrix, Neo. But I don't know the extent of my unsettling or life-changing truth. But I don't want to live in ignorance. But if I take the blue pill, do I know I'm living in ignorance because I'm just fucking ignorant? Like, who knows? Just because I'm the renegade, I guess. Man, this is why I wanted to kind of fucking prep for this. I think I have to go with the red pill and hope that my life-changing truth isn't so life-changing in a bad way, I guess. God, I feel like I'm fucking this thing up. The solo thing up. I feel like there should be music in the background or something, or like theme music. So yeah, the red pill, and I'm worried because I'm already 2 questions in of my 8, and I've only been recording for 7 minutes. So yeah, maybe the firefighter is gonna come quick and get me out of this elevator. So now his third question was, would you wear a Clippers jersey for? Let me zoom in on that amount. For $1,000, just $1,000. Would I wear a Clippers jersey? I ain't rich, so yeah. He never said how long I'd wear it, and I may do something like I'd wear it and then I'd allow my kids to throw raw eggs at me. Yeah. So there you go, Leo. I know you're a Clipper fan. Your Clippers are made it to the next round, farther than my Lakers, but I still don't think you guys are gonna do anything, man. Thanks for watching, Leo. Don't turn off because you're mad at me now for dogging on your Clippers. But LA will always belong to the Lakers. Clippers they could win the championship and they'll still be the AAA team. They'll still be the minor leagues. The Clippers are never going to be big, man. I think a lot of people become Clipper fans just to go against the Lakers because they hate on the Lakers so much. So, I don't know. But to be honest, my boy Leo is, as long as I've known him, been a Clipper fan, so you got to give him mad props for that. So, mad respect to you, Leo. You never changed up even when they were sucking, man. So that's a sign of a true fan. I should know being a Raider fan. Been a Raider fan my whole life, and like 95% of that time has been them losing. So I'm a true fan. So shout out to you, Leo, for sticking to your Clippers, dude. All right, now my next question comes from my sister-in-law, Marissa. Marissa, she's been coming with those deep questions. So this one's it's a good one. It really had me thinking, and not to sound like a weenie, but just thinking about it now, reading the question again in my head, makes me a little emotional, I guess. What has being a father and a husband taught you? I guess if I really wanted to, this question can take the whole podcast because it's taught me so many things. So I guess we could start from the beginning when I was younger a little bit. A long time ago when I was younger. I just talked about being haters right now a second ago, but I was a hater on Oscar De La Hoya because he was a golden boy. All the chicks loved him. Um, and I remember one time he had made a comment. He had gotten married or something, and he made a comment in a press conference, and he said, "My wife taught me how to be a man," and I talked so much shit, because I hated him, because I was a hater. I said, "Oh, the fuck were you before? If a woman taught you to be a man, da da da." But now, being married and a father myself, I really understand what he said, and I really understand what he meant. Being a father and a husband changes your outlook on life. It's not about you no more. It's not about what makes you happy. It's not about a new pair of shoes or money. It's about those people. It's about your wife and your kids. Ashley's always supported me for the longest. When I doubted myself, when I never thought I could do any better, when I never thought I could afford things or be better, she was always the one to say, yes, you can. And yes, you are. And I'll forever be grateful to her for that. Dang it, Marissa, you and your deep questions. She's taught me how to be a man. She's helped me get my priorities right, my priorities straight. She's never let me settle. Never. Even when, being married as long as me and her have been going on 18 years, yes, I'm that old. Even when we fought, because it wasn't a beautiful rainbow and sunshine 18 years, we had our ups and downs. My immaturity, my decision making has not always been the best. Even when she was mad at me, we'd have deep, bad fights, and I'd wake up for work the next day and my lunch is made. Cars full of gas. She never stopped loving me. And that type of unconditional love, and that kind of goes into the next thing, what being a husband and father taught me. It taught me what unconditional love is. There's no condition to the love. Like, I don't have to do a certain thing or be a certain way to get their love. They're always going to love me, especially my kids. They have unconditional love for me, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, great thing and feeling. So growing up, a lot of you young kids out there, you think you know what love is. You think you are in love, and you might be, because I found mine young. But as time goes on, you really start to understand it and see it for what it is and what it really is to you, and how great it feels. I love looking in my kids' eyes and having them smile at me for no reason. It's the greatest feeling in the world. I didn't grow up the most wealthiest person, so spending money for me is kind of a hard thing because I never really had money. So having money now, I want to kind of keep in my pocket a little longer than I should. But like Christmas is, Ashley's really big on Christmas. We have these great big Christmases, and seeing the kids open their gifts and just have pure bliss and joy in their eyes, it's a completely different feeling. I don't care if I don't open one gift that day. Seeing them, how happy they are opening theirs, I don't know, just being a dad changes your perspective on everything. I talked about earlier having a fear of death. I'm so fearful of death. But I would die right now the most painful, excruciating, long-lasting death I had to for them to be happy, for them to have a long, beautiful life. I would face all my deepest fears for them, no matter how fearful or afraid I was. So yeah, I guess I'm going down like a different tunnel with all of this, but it's taught me unconditional love. Ashley taught me how to be a man, an adult. I've always been a hard worker, but Ashley's never let me settle or stop. She knows my full potential even more than I do. So I've learned to persevere for them. Yeah, I could go on forever. Xander's computer is just locked up and I don't know the password. So I don't even know how I'm going to stop recording this. But hopefully it's still recording while the computer's closed. Yeah, that really threw me off. That going off that made me nervous. Threw me off my thought process. But thank you, Marissa. We appreciate you supporting us and keep the awesome questions coming. So the next question came from my boy RJ, aka Tundi, that Vasquez Power. He said, "What record will the Raiders have this year?" Man, I want so bad every year to say that they're gonna go undefeated. They're gonna win it all, have a winning record, but I just don't know. Last year I thought we had a solid team, and we started off strong. I think we were 6-3, and then went to shit. So let's see. Let's look at their schedule. We'll go game by game, and I'll tell you what I think. I'm not the best in math, so I'm not gonna be able to add it up as I go. You have to go with me as you hear it. So game 1, Monday Night Football against the Ravens. For some reason, game 1 we always start really strong. Nobody thought we were gonna win last year in game 1 against, I believe, the Saints on Monday Night Football. We won, so I think we get that dub against the Ravens. Pittsburgh. Big Ben had a great season last year, a little bounce back, but he is getting up there in age. I kind of feel like it's going to go back a little bit, and I think that he's going to have a mediocre year, and then people are going to start talking about that he's too old and he needs to leave. They're going to turn their backs on him really quick. So I kind of feel like we squeaked that one out. We win. Dolphins and Tua. Tua ain't going to have Fitzmagic to bail him out. So I'm going to say we win. We start the season 3-0. And we have the Chargers. So week 4 against Chargers. Herbert's a beast. I hate to admit it. Up and coming. The more time he gets in that system, he's going to get better. So I think they upset us. So they take the dub there. Then we got the Bears. So yeah, they got Fields, but I don't even think they know what they're doing with their quarterback. So I think we take that win. Gives us 4 wins there. Denver, as long as they don't get Aaron Rodgers or anybody like that, or Deshaun Watson, I think we take that dub. That's 5. Eagles, I think we take that dub. 6. This is all what I think. I thought last year we were going to have a great record, so who knows. Then we go into the bye week, and I think that's going to be a close game. I'm just kidding. Then we got the Giants. I think we take that dub. That's 7 wins. 7-1. Great start. And then the infamous Chiefs. I feel like we crumble there. We take an L against the Chiefs. Bengals, I think they're going to be underrated with that wide receiver core. And Joey B getting better. Burrow. So I think they take that dub. I think they beat us. Thanksgiving against the Cowboys. That's a 50-50 game, honestly, because who knows what Dak is going to look like coming back from that knee surgery, because his mobility was some of his strength. I think they really underestimated how good and how much of a part of that team he was, because I lost a 3rd-round draft pick in my fantasy football league to trade for Ezekiel Elliott, and he didn't do shit. So he's not as great as they think he is without Dak. So if the original Dak comes back better than ever, they might squeak that win against us. But if Dak is gun-shy, like the way Carr was after his injuries, doesn't have that speed, I think we could get that win. So that's a 50-50 game. So we're like 7 or 8 wins in. Washington football team, I don't even know who their quarterback is. Fitzmagic. I think we take that dub. I think KC, I hate to say it, gets the clean sweep on us. Browns, They have so much potential to be a great team. If they just get out of their own way, I think they could beat us. Broncos, we beat them again. Colts. Who the Colts got now at quarterback? I don't remember. But it's new either way, so I think we take that dub. And then I think we squeak the last one out against the Chargers. So the way I see it, we have a winning record. We go to the playoffs. But that's all in my head, RJ. Of course, I think we're going to win these games. I was trying to be fair and say that the Chiefs sweep us, but we might squeak one of those out. Dallas could beat us. Washington Bengals could beat us. Dude, honestly, Eagles could beat us. Jalen Hurts a beast. The Dolphins could beat us because they're stacked. Ravens could beat us, and so can the Steelers. Like, they all can, even though I thought they were going to win. So I think we're going to, in my head, I'm feeling like we have a winning record. But that's tough. I don't know. So, yeah, we're going to the playoffs next year. Mark it down. All right. Thanks, RJ. Thanks for supporting, man. Keep watching, dude. Can't wait to have you on here as a guest one day. Shoot the shit with you. Talk some college football. You're really big on those college players, especially at UCLA. So, yeah. Thanks, RJ. Love you, bro. Next question is from Taryn. Taryn said, what is one place you'd love to go and visit? That one for me, Taryn, is super easy. Bora Bora. The way they have those they have you see them on like the fucking ads from Facebook. They're like these boardwalks, I guess, or like piers, and they just go out into this clear, beautiful water, and then they branch off like a tree, and there's huts on each one, like little mini house islands. The floor on certain parts of the house is glass see-through, so you can see all the fish underneath you as you're sleeping. There's slides. There's just beautiful, peaceful. I've always said I want to go there and stay in one of those huts. They have them, I think, in Bora Bora and Fiji, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you get what I'm talking about. Like, I would love to go there. I would love to spend, like, at least a week there and just be away from everything, swim, eat, relax, enjoy the scenery, the nightlife around there. I'm sure they have like really great restaurants and stuff to go out to. At nighttime, it's probably beautiful. The stars are probably beautiful. Whenever you have clear water like that, you usually have clear skies. There's no smog or shit. So, oh man, just thinking about it relaxes me. But yeah, for sure, Bora Bora. All right, so Taryn's also got a pretty deep question here. She says she has a second one. She says, "Who do you look up to the most?" So I guess you could get a little bit more in depth in that, like on a personal level, family, or like celebrities, because you see people like Keanu Reeves that stay so humble, still rides the train, and I've seen videos of that dude give up his seat to women, and like that's awesome, dude. Like, you know, people like Robin Williams, that dude, whenever he would do movies, they said that part of his contracts to do movies is he would make sure that you had to hire homeless people on the set to help out, whether it was cleaning up, different things around the set of his movies to help them get off the streets and better their lives. You know, like good people like that, you know, on a celebrity status I look up to, I think are great. On a personal level, family-wise, there's so many. My grandfathers, my grandpa Raymond, my grandpa Tony, rest in peace to both of them. I love and miss them very much. Super hard workers. I remember as a kid, my grandpa Ray would go. I used to call him Grandpa Norwalk because one lived in Norwalk and one was Grandpa Shop because one had a body shop. And then just learning, you know, how to talk growing up as a little kid. That's why I'm gonna go to Grandpa Shops or Grandpa Norwalk or Grandma Shop and Grandma Norwalk. But my grandpa would the old ladies down the street that lived by themselves were widows, and their lawns were getting out of control. On the weekends, I'd go with him, and he would fix these people's lawns. He'd go and he'd pick out all the weeds for them. He would mow the lawns. He would cut the roses. He would trim them, whatever it took to help these people out. older ladies, and I always admired that about him, and I always thought that was really cool that he would do stuff like that. I still remember it. I still remember going with him, and then my grandpa Tony. I talked about being a hard worker. I get a lot of that from him, man. I talked about my wife earlier, and as a husband, I looked up to my grandpa Tony, like the way he treated my grandma Hilda. It was just the sweetest thing. He was always holding her hand, hugging her, kissing her. If there was music on, he was trying to dance with her. He just passed recently, a few months ago, so it's a little hard for me to talk about. So I apologize if I get a little emotional, but his work ethic was fucking awesome, man. He had a body shop for like 25 years. All my uncles worked there. A lot of my cousins worked there. I worked there. He taught us all a craft, you know. He taught us that there's always something. There's something, you know, you're never without. If you work, you want something, you go out there and you earn it. You know, I have this tattoo on my shoulder right here. It says, "Here on a dime." That was my grandpa's story. He came here from Mexico with just a dime in his pocket, and he built a big, beautiful family just with 10 cents, with the dime. And he would say, you know, imagine what you could do with more. And he definitely left us with more. So I definitely look up to my grandfathers. My grandmothers, it's crazy because my grandmothers were, they're hard asses, man. They're tough, dude. Like, my grandma Hilda, she's still going, man. Last time I went down to visit her and see her, I pull up to her house and she's in the front, little old lady right there, and she's pulling weeds, keeping busy. She's dirty. She gets up, dusts her hands off, says, "Hey, Mio, Eric," you know, hugs and kisses me. She's hardcore, man. I don't think I've ever seen her cry until my grandpa passed. Super tough lady. Funny. Growing up all the time, her scaring the shit out of us. At the body shop, there was a house and then the shop was around it, and she used to always dupe me into helping her with the laundry, and the laundry room was in the back of the body shop. And I should know better, but, you know, trying to be a good grandson. And she'd be like, "Oh, can you go get the laundry for me from the back?" And there goes my scary ass in the dark, you know, all scared, and I get the basket. I don't know why I fell for it so many times. I'm walking back thinking everything's cool, and then from the side of my eye, you see something kneeling on the side, and it's got this crazy hair, white hair, and his distorted face, and it's really low to the ground, like 2 feet, and then it just comes at me full fucking speed, and then you just hear, and I fucking tighten up. A lot of people that know me know I don't have reflexes, and it's my grandma wearing a mask, and you just hear her raspy laugh because she's a smoker. She just loved to scare the shit out of us. She loved to, and I'd get so mad, and I'd drop the laundry, and I'm like, "This right, don't ever fuck it up," you know. But she was always happy, had a good outlook on life. So you definitely look up to people like that. Always playing jokes and pranking people. I remember one time too, my Uncle Michael, her youngest son, I don't know if it was her that did it or what, but I remember there was donuts because we always had, she called them yang yangs. She always had her coffee and yang yangs and her cigarettes. A cherry filled donut, and the strawberry or whatever filling was sucked out and it was replaced with ketchup. And next morning, my Uncle Michael's like, "Man, I ate the nastiest fucking donut last night," but he ate it all. Shit like that, catching her, being in the front of the body shop with binoculars for hours because she swore, look at that light, it hasn't moved. It's like an alien ship, and she's talking to me and she's going. And when we finally stopped looking through the binoculars and just tried to look with the naked eye, it was a street light. That's why I never moved. Her stories, her scary stories, La Llorona, the guy walking down the street with the cape, just fucking flapping his wings, weird as fuck. The time she and my Uncle Mondo were driving on the street and they seen a little old lady that was kind of weird looking, and my grandma wanted to give her a ride. My Uncle Mondo was like, "No." He was young. This is just her story. So, just to be real quick, lady gets in the car. She says, "Oh, I live over here." They get there, it's a cemetery, and they're like, "Hey, this is a cemetery." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I live in there." Gets out, walks straight into the cemetery. They don't see the lady again. She said she lived there. My grandma tried to say, well, maybe she lived in the house behind there, but I don't see a little old lady jumping a fence to get to her house. You know what I mean? So that's some freaky shit, stuff like that. But she was always just, the point is, I looked up to her because the way she's seen life, man. She was never down, never angry, never upset. I always just see my grandma laughing with a raspy laugh, I gotta call her this weekend and see how she's doing just to hear that laugh of hers. Then my grandma Mary, another one, tough as nails, man. I remember going to the Santa Fe Springs swamp meet, and I was young, I don't know, 8, 9, I don't remember, but there was this big Power Ranger doll, and I bugging my mom, I want it. My mom finally was like, fuck, man. She goes to buy it, and the lady already picked it up. And my mom asked the person that was selling, do you have another one? Nope, that lady got the last one. My mom tries to buy it from her. The lady's like, no, this is for my kid. Not going to happen. So, Eric, you're shit out of luck, right? So I'm crying. We keep walking and catch up to my grandma. My grandma was like, Mia, what are you crying about? What's going on? Why are you crying? She hated to see me upset and sad. I wanted the fucking Power Ranger. I didn't get it. And my grandma was telling my mom, why didn't you get it? My mom's like, oh, the last one, lady got it. All I know is my grandma says, which way she go? Boom. Grandma takes off. We keep walking. I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes later, my grandma finds us, catches up to us in another aisle. Santa Fe Street swap meet. My grandma has that Power Ranger doll in her hands. Don't know how. Don't know what she did. But she made sure I was happy and I got that doll. And that kind of goes into like Marissa's question about, what have you learned being a father? Just that unconditional love, and that my grandma had that for me. Great woman. I remember one time she loved to play cards, skip bow, and a card game called Screw Your Neighbor. And I remember one time she had one of the neighbors over. I don't remember what she said, but the lady said something disrespectful. I think she said something like flirtatious towards my grandpa. I don't remember. But I remember my grandma standing up and says, straight told her, and this is the old lady, this is a grandma already. You either walk out or you fly out. But you're getting the fuck out of the house. Like, that's some gangster shit right there. Great lady, man. I miss her to death. She used to always say too, families fight, families argue, families don't always get along. But she always said, Sundays are for families, though. So every Sunday, we went to her house for a barbecue to eat and spend time. She would say, I don't care what you're mad at, who you're mad at, what it's over. I don't give a shit. For one day, you put that aside. And you show up on Sunday, and you enjoy your family. That they just don't make them like that no more, man. And because of that, I look up to her. So my grandparents are who I look up to the most. I hope to one day be half the grandparent to my grandkids that my grandparents were to me. Because if I could just be a fraction of it, I'll be an awesome grandfather. I hope that I'm an awesome dad too. But yeah, so I look up to my grandparents, man. They're awesome from a personal standpoint. So thank you for that, Taryn. All right, so my next question comes from my bride, Ashley Vasquez. She says, if you could guest play at any position in any sport, what sport would it be, what team, and what position? So, a lot of you guys know me personally. I'm not the biggest fucking person, so I don't know if I really want to guess playing it. Because I would pick football, but I don't want to fucking die, So it'd be running back, it'd be football, and it'd be with the Raiders. But I don't want to get my ass fucking rocked. You know what I mean? So I guess I guess I could do each sport. Like I'm not gonna pick basketball because I can't fucking shoot a basketball for my life. The hoop's too high. It's very rare for short people like me to fucking play basketball. Spud web and fucking rare. So for baseball, growing up I played second base. So second base for the Dodgers would be pretty fucking cool for a game. They probably wouldn't let me because it's a little bit more dangerous. Probably like when they do it for celebrities, they let them pitch, like a few innings or something, or for 1 out. That'd be pretty cool too. But I'd have to say the Raiders are running back, get a few plays in. Maybe they'll let me prep for it, and I get to go in the weight room and work out for a little bit and get ready for it. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, that's the easy one right there. Now, let me wet the whistle for this one. For my final question, it comes from the host with the most, my ride or die, my right hand man, X to the Z exhibit, Xander Vasquez. Like I said, the host with the most. He said, if you could own one jersey of anyone that isn't on any of your sports teams, who would it be? Present and old school. So like this one, I really got into. I really had to think about it. Because like you never really think about that kind of shit. Like it made me think of Leo's question about wearing a Clippers jersey. So I started thinking like, who on the Clippers would I wear if I were to ever wear it? Because those black jerseys the Clippers had with the old school, like old English LA on it, Los Angeles, pretty fucking tight, even though I hate the Clippers. So Leo, I'd wear that jersey if I had to. Would be that one. So for that, I actually wrote them down. So let me just go to that on my phone real quick. Here we go. All right, so for baseball. So for past, I had to go Babe Ruth because he's like one of the greatest of all fucking time. Ken Griffey Jr. because it's fucking Ken Griffey, dude. Like, he's fucking badass. And then Mr. Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr. Dude, like none of those guys played on any of the teams I like. But Cal Ripken, like, call him the Iron Man because that guy played for so many games, did not miss one, badass, and not only played every game but was good in every game. Never was like, oh, this guy fucking sucks, we need to sit his ass down and bench him. Like, that fool was fucking bad. And the only reason he finally got benched is because he asked for it, towards the end of his career. So for baseball, for past, Babe Ruth, Ken Griffey Jr., Cal Ripken Jr. If I had to pick between those three, it's Cal Ripken Jr. Now, present, that's tough, man, because I'm a diehard Dodger, and I don't really like any other teams. So I try to think of players that I like that are in other teams. So one of them is kind of cheating, and I said Alex Verdugo because I was pretty pissed when we traded him. He's with the Red Sox now, but I always liked him when he came out to Voltaved by Vicente Fernandez, which was my Grandma Mary's favorite song. So I always put that thought in my head. So I always fucking rooted for him, and when he left, I always said, like, he'll always have a fan of me. So Alex Verdugo jersey would be fucking dope. And then the second one was Garrett Cole, only because he played at UCLA, and he's a fucking beast. But if I had to pick between those two for present, it's Alex Verdugo, for sure. Now, basketball. Big Kobe fan, obviously. Love Kobe and the Lakers. But obviously, I can't pick any of my teams. So I was always a big fan of Vince Carter. From all his slam dunk competitions, and that fool played for a long fucking time too. So Vince Carter, and then just because of their bad boy persona, and because they were fucking feared in the court, because of they were fucking fearless, Dennis Rodman and Charles Barkley, those guys were fucking beasts. They really killed it on the court, and when you played against them, you knew you were gonna leave that game sore as fuck because they were gonna fucking rough you up in the paint. Now, if I had to pick between those three, and I only had to pick one, it's going to be Vince Carter. Second favorite basketball player of all time for me is Vince Carter, behind Kobe. I know everybody's saying, oh, why not Jordan? Favorite Laker, too, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. To me, he's the GOAT, even over Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. Kareem's the GOAT. If you look at the stats, that guy dominates in everything. So, anyways, totally different fucking podcast conversation. So, present-day players. Luka from Dallas Mavericks. Luka because he's a badass white boy. And because I like the Mavericks owner. Mark Cuban's a fucking goat, dude. Like, he's a fucking beast. So, like, guys like that, you can't help but respect. So, Luka. And then the second one would be my boy Dame Damian Lillard from the Portland Trail Blazers, because he's a Raider fan. Got that Raider tattoo on his arm. He's a cold piece out there. I think he's one of the most underrated basketball players in the NBA right now. I'm just really realizing I'm finally looking at the camera, so the whole fucking podcast I'm gonna be looking down and probably it's all fucked up. So my bad, but I'm not doing this shit again. So I'm not gonna fucking take it again. So just fucking hope you like listening to it then and seeing the top of my fucking head. So Damian Lillard for basketball, and if I had to pick between Luka and Dame Dollar, it's gonna be Dame. But that was a close one because I really like Luka too. Now for my favorite sport, football. This one was kind of hard too. I kind of had a few more ideas for it. So I'll start with the past again. So I went Barry Sanders, Mr. Rocket Toes, just because that fool was a fucking beast. Like, growing up and seeing pictures of him, and it looks like his body is fully sideways because he's juked or he's pivoted so fucking hard, and he still keeps his weight under him. Like, that guy was just a beast. He retired way too early, but if I played for the Lions, I'd probably retire early too. And these are only guys because they're, not on my teams. Barry Sanders, and then another Detroit Lion that retired way too early, Calvin Johnson, Mr. Megatron himself. Just because, when was the last time? It's like the only time you've ever seen a fucking wide receiver get double teamed. Literally, where they have two corners lined up on him. Literally, like, there's pictures. Look that shit up. Literally taking two people, and he's still catching it and scoring on him. Bad fucking man. Bad man. Sweetness himself, Walter Payton, just because it's Walter fucking Payton. That'd be a great jersey. And then the Juice, O.J. Simpson. Why? I don't, because the guy's a dick now and roll, but it's pretty fucking cool back in the day. So if I had to pick, it'd probably be Calvin Johnson and then Walter Payton, a close second, and then Barry, and O.J. last. Matter of fact, you probably take O.J. off the list for past. But I already said it though. Too late. All right, so present. This one was tough. I like a lot of players, but like to actually wear and sport their jersey. So this guy, me and X discovered last year in the draft. We talked about him when he got drafted. We told everybody this guy's gonna be the fucking steal of the draft, and he sure fucking was. Jet man, Justin Jefferson. Guy's a bad man. Sticking with the same team. Eric Kendricks, linebacker. Followed him since UCLA, man. Big fan of him at UCLA's. I'd love to have his jersey. And then last would be Myles Garrett. Just because he's fucking a bad man, dude. Big, beastie motherfucker that, good at basketball, too. Looks like he should be on fucking, the Monstars, fucking Space Jam. He's like a real-life Monstar. So those would be the jerseys. If I had to pick one of those between Myles Garrett, Justin Jefferson, Eric Kendricks, I'm going to lean toward Eric Kendricks. We share the same first name. But based on star power, I think Justin Jefferson has more chance of being a star long term. But I'd pick Eric Kendricks' jersey just because of the name. So, yeah. So, those are my 8 questions. I appreciate you guys getting on and submitting these questions. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting Stuck in the Elevator podcast. I don't know all the names the way X does, but I know he's Bucky Barney with 2 Y's on Twitter if you guys want to follow him. IG. A lot of you guys know about the podcast already from IG. We don't have a strong Twitter following on Stuck in the Elevator podcast on Twitter, but jump on there, follow us there. Once we start seeing more followers, we'll get more content on there. Like we put on the IG because we have more followers there, so we post more stuff there. Still be on the lookout for TikTok. I really don't know how to make this shit any longer. I feel like I'm saying a lot the way X says yeah. Next week we're back on me and him talking about time travel and different shit like that. different theories. We'll probably dip in again into the alien and space shit again, just because, like I said, we got a lot of feedback on that, and people started telling us to look into other things, and then we started doing some research, and we're like, oh shit, there's a lot of topics we can still touch on, and yeah, and we don't want to burn you guys out on sports shit, especially if you guys don't watch or like the same sports teams we do. Yeah. So by the time this airs on Monday, the UFC fights will happen already. So maybe next week we touch on that. I don't know. We'll probably just be so in depth on the time travel and everything. We might not even be able to talk about sports. But shout out to my boy Nate Diaz. I hope he wins it. I hope Figueroa wins it, and I think Israel Adesanya is gonna win it. Yeah, those are my predictions. So again, let me see, who was it again? Shout out and a big thank you to my boy Leo. I haven't seen you in forever, man, but I appreciate you staying in contact with me through social media and following the podcast. Big shout out, Leo. Shout out to Marissa Marash. Thank you. Congratulations on graduating. I'm so proud of you. RJ Tundi Vasquez. Miss you, brother. I really do. Can't wait to see you again, man. Taryn, thank you. You're always out there liking our post and leaving comments. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. My wife Ashley, thank you so much for supporting me and X and giving us the time to be on the site and recording all this stuff and giving us our space to do it. I love you. Thank you so much. And then I can't thank enough my boy, my oldest son X. Whether you believe it or not, man, like we can't do this without you. So thank you for doing this with me. Thank you for letting me be a part of it with you. I enjoy this podcast, dude. I really do. I love you, man. So yeah, Xander, keep listening, keep watching, support. Anyways, yeah, so that's it, dude. I think I hear the fucking firefighters about to get me out of this elevator. So I hope you guys liked it. Back to duos next week, and then Xander's got his solo. So we'll probably post up on IG some questions for you guys to hit him with. Yeah. Shoot us questions. Give us content, man. Whatever you guys want us to talk about, let us know. All right. I'm out, guys. Peace, love, harmony, all that fucking corny shit. All right. I'm just going to get it walkway, X, and edit the rest. You got to come back and turn the fucking shooting cameras. All right. Later, guys.